In this video, we're going to be discussing architectural patterns. I'm going to be discussing 5 different architectural patterns, but before I go into that, right, I want to define what architectural patterns are. So, architectural patterns simply provide a true template for how you structure your systems. So, rather than starting from scratch, these patterns offer a blueprint for how the different components of a system should interact with one another. So they give you what responsibilities each system should hold and how they should scale. You need to understand these different patterns for you to be able to accelerate how you design. And it helps you to sort of like avoid all the different pitfalls. Because one thing I need you to note here is there is no one size fits all design pattern or architectural pattern, right? So each pattern has its own strengths, it has its own weaknesses. Forget about right patterns. It would only always depend on the context. And when we talk about context, we're discussing the team size, what are the scalability requirements, what's the domain complexity for that business, what are the organizational constraints that we might have, or who are the members of the team that is who, what skills do they have? And from here we can start to build what kind of design pattern we should have. Now, what's important here is we're going to be discussing 5 major types of architectural patterns. Number one is the monolith architecture. This is your single unified code base, right? And I'm going to explain this down the line. Number two is a layered n-tier architecture where you have a horizontal separation of concerns. Number three is your microservices architecture. This is very popular where you have independent deployable services. And number four, we have your event driven architecture where you have asynchronous messages based communication. And finally, we'll discuss serverless architectures whereby you have a function as a service model. The goal here is to help you to recognize these patterns and to understand when to apply each of these patterns. When you're picking a suitable architecture, it is important for you to guide your entire system evolution through your team structure, through your deployment strategies, and it is important for you to be able to pick a suitable architecture that would fit all of these needs. And so, for each of these videos, we're going to be taking them one after the other, and we're going to try to define what they are. We're going to give examples. We're going to talk about their strengths. We're going to talk about their weaknesses. And finally, we're going to discuss what a roadmap should look like, right? On how systems should be delivered. Now, it is really important that we agree that this is a process. And this process, it is important that we sort of adhere to each of it.